What's up, everybody? So, like I was saying before, I did my good deed. Left work, went by my wife's office, picked her up, took her to one of her sister buildings to get some paperwork signed by her boss. And then I went, bought her some lunch, dropped her off, and now she's happy. 2 days in a row. 2 days in a row. I'm in good graces. Still in good graces. Could be worse. But I am on my way to go see a patient. I'm going to see that patient at 2:15 and then jump in the car and go pick up my son from school. In between, order groceries for drop off, and then hopefully they'll arrive in time for me to cook dinner. I am making butter chicken. I'm going to try. Of course, it's not from scratch. I'm using some mixture out of a pouch. You just got to brown the chicken, sear it, mix this pouch in there with a little bit of yogurt, and then let it simmer. I'm going to throw some chickpeas in there. It's the same recipe. If you want to make it vegetarian, you throw the chickpeas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the peas in it also. Then I have the bread that people traditionally eat with it. I bought a loaf of that. Or no, 4 pieces. Sorry, not a loaf. 4 pieces of that type of bread. And then I bought the rice. The special. I bought that. No one's gonna complain. Right now, 95 degrees, man. 95 degrees in South Florida. Heading to see my patient. Jumping on the turnpike. What is the turnpike? You ever think about that? You hear the highway, the freeway, the turnpike, and there are characteristics that make them all different. What makes a freeway a freeway? I don't know. What makes a highway a highway? But here we go. We're getting on. Now we're heading south. I'm on a highway now. Anyway, I have like a 30-minute drive. So instead of listening to the radio, instead of listening to the radio, right, where everyone's talking about politics and what's wrong in the world, I figure I'd sign on and talk to other people about what's wrong in this world. But my conversation this morning was about kids in schools and an email that I got from my son's school saying that they need the parents' help. They need the parents' help because we're having a hard time getting kids to pay attention and to learn or just pay attention. Pretty obvious, man. The kids are distracted. They love social media. If they have to listen to an adult or anything more than like a minute, you're done. You're out. You're gone. They've tuned you out, right? You know that. You know that. In the world of TikTok, Everyone's watching a TikTok video, right? Every time I look, someone's on TikTok. My dad is 78 years old and sends me links on my text message to TikTok videos. And my dad's 78. My mom's 75, and she sends me links to TikTok. My wife sends me links to TikTok. I think I'm the only one who doesn't go on TikTok, and I don't. I don't go on TikTok. And what's funny is, I don't even really go on Facebook. I have a Facebook account because years ago, it was an easy way to catch up with old high school friends, alumni from college and stuff like that. It was pretty cool. But that's I don't go on. I really don't go on. I really don't post to it. I send people happy birthday. When I do sign on, today is so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so's birthday. So I send them happy birthday. I sent birthday wishes to people that their birthday was 3-4 days ago because I don't go on. I go to Instagram once in a while. I like Instagram. I go on Instagram. And again, short videos. And I'd like to know from you all. I go on YouTube because I watch, the creators. I watch the shows. I watch shows about fishing. Like retro bassing. I watch retro bassing. I like the old school bass tips. I live in Florida. A lot of people go bass fishing, and I like to see the throwback stuff that we used to use, and how crude and elementary it is compared to the new stuff. I can't even watch a football game. I can't even watch an entire football game. Right? What's the sense of watching a football game, the entire game, where you can wait, right? And then somebody will put together a collage of all the plays that meant anything during the game, right? They'll show you the touchdowns, they'll show you the turnovers, and they'll show you a couple other plays, right? So why do you gotta sit there and watch a 3 game when you can? And the NFL is not going to complain because their ratings are always up. The revenue's up, the ratings up, but you don't have to watch it. You don't have to watch it. You can just wait. So I go on YouTube. I watch a lot of on YouTube. I watch some shows about finances. I watch a gentleman by the name of Meet Kevin. He talks about the stock market open, the stock market close. Not that I own stocks, but I find it interesting about how the economy is going. I watch some of the cryptocurrency people. I own cryptocurrency. I've owned Bitcoin for a while, Ethereum, Solana, Cardano. I don't mess around or speculate with the stuff that you can lose money, right? At least Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and Cardano, you kind of know, right? You kind of know that they're there. They're not going to be a rug pull. And it's kind of crazy though when you own cryptocurrency. You know, one day your net worth could be, let's say, 10 grand. The next day it could be worth 15 grand. And then the next day it could be down to 8 grand. And then back up to 12 grand. Cryptocurrency is a roller coaster of emotions. A roller coaster. It's not for the faint of heart. I'll tell you that. I've lost money in the past, and it was because I would panic sell. I'd put in $1,000. It would go down 200, and I'm like, oh my God, this is going to tank, and I would sell. And then I'll just rebuy when it goes back up, when it bottoms out. And then within a matter of hours, the sucker shoots back up. And I go, son of a gun. I sold it when I was down 200. If I would have waited 2 hours, I'd be up 200. So you can't do that, right? You just gotta buy it and sit on it. Buy it and sit on it. Don't speculate. Don't try to catch, the people that try to catch something at the bottom. Catch it at the bottom and ride it up. And then they sell it at the top. It's too hard to do. People lose money all the time. Yeah, they're trying to catch it. You're just gonna ride the middle. Right? You gotta ride that 50%. If you have a stock like Bitcoin that has, I think, the average volatility is like 3.5% a day. Okay? It goes up, it goes down, but on the average, the volatility is about 3.5% per day. Right? So you have people who are trying to catch it at zero and ride it up, sell it, and then ride it down. Right? You're too greedy when you're trying to do that. Too greedy. Just continue to buy into it. If you bought it at 60 grand, the next week it's up to 73 grand. Right? There's a $13,000 profit. I can tell you what I do. This is not it. This is not advice. This is just what I do. Do your own research. I put $1,000 in a crypto. One day, it said in one day I made $118. It was up by 10%. You know what I did? The profit I made that day was like $108. I sold it. I didn't sell the whole thing. I sold the $100 that I made, and I put it off to the side. The next day it says I made like 80, like another 20. I didn't do anything. A few days later, it was going up. It went from I bought it at like 130 something, and it topped out at like 180. It topped out at like $180, right? So as I was riding it up, I was cashing out in $100 increments. Whatever profit I made that day, I cashed out. And I put it off to the side. And then what goes up comes down. And then when it went down, I used that profit and bought back in. It went up to I bought it at like 130 something, and it went all the way up to I told you, just 180. Then it went back down again, and all the way back down to 130. So I went right back to where I started from, but I had been cashing out in $100 increments, right? So when it did go down, I had like $700 or $800 to reinvest back into it. And that's what I did. I bought back into it. Some people wouldn't have done that. Some people cashed out that 800, and then they wouldn't have reinvested back into it, because they made their profit. The rest is deal is, if I would have lost that grant, oh well, I would have only been down 200, right? So that's how I do crypto. I buy into it because I learned my lesson. I bought Ethereum. I had put like $1,000 into Ethereum, and I was riding it up on leverage, and I was up to like $3,000, up to $3,000, and I'm like, I've doubled my money, tripled my money, right? But you know what I did? I pushed it even more, and I wound up losing it all. Because as it was going down, I kept saying, no, it can't go, it ain't going to go all the way back. No, it can't. At some point, it has to turn around. So not only did I lose my profit, but I lost my initial investment. And I went, and I did that a few times. And I went, I can't do it. Can't do it. I'm so stupid. So, it takes a few times. It takes a few times to lose money, especially if you're doing it on your own. Everyone does it. Some people lose more than others until you finally get it. Until it finally hits you that you're stupid. And that's what I did. Took me a while, but now I don't do that. I put an X amount of dollars, and if I have extra money, and what I do is, when I'm not doing my regular job, I drive Uber and Lyft, I accumulate money, and then if it goes down, I buy it. I keep doing dollar cost average. Right? And then take profit on the way up. It took me a long time to figure that out. It took me a long time, losing probably thousands of dollars until I figured out. Because bears and bulls make money. Bears and bulls make money, right? And pigs get slaughtered. When you want to be a pig, and try to make all the money in the world on limited resources, you get screwed, you get buried, you lose everything. That's something that I do. That's how I do. I got a buddy of mine. I give him, he's a friend, but I met him in the neighborhood. He's 36 years old, never driven a car. He only takes Uber and Lyft. And he used to pay like $20 a trip for Uber and Lyft. So I charge him $10. I charge him $10 and I take him to where he has to go. Sometimes I take him to work. Sometimes I take him to the shopping center, shopping, and I do that. And he pays me $10 and I take the money that I get from him, I take the other money I get from Uber, the other money I get from Lyft, and I buy cryptocurrency with it. And when I'm doing that, it's strictly Bitcoin. Strictly Bitcoin. I don't speculate. Oh, I'm going to buy the fun coin. Oh my God, the fun coin went up 40% today. You FOMO in, right? You FOMO in, everyone's riding up 40%, and then all of a sudden, overnight, you go to bed, go to bed. Listen, another word of advice. This is not advice. This is not advice. This is what I do. If you're gonna buy a cryptocurrency other than the big bugs like Ethereum, Bitcoin, if you're just sitting there and you're trying to be a day trader, right? I'll tell you right now, before you go to bed, cash out. Cash out. You gotta cash out. Because if you try to put a stop loss and you try to do something, you leave your money in there overnight, the next day you're screwed. You're done. You're done. You're going to be screwed. Because cryptocurrency markets are open 24 hours a day. 24 hours a day. And they have a lot of exchanges compared to regular stock market. Right? And what happens is, I think it's over in Asia. I think Asia closes. Like for people that are in Asia, I don't think they can trade 24 hours. I think that's their law. So at like 4 a.m. New York time, I call it East Coast time, 4 a.m., right? The Asian markets come online. And then what happens? There can be tremendous volatility, either going up or going down. And if you leave your money there without any type of safeguards, you run the risk of losing it all. You just run the risk of losing it all. And then you might wake up one day and you might be up 10, 15%. Some good news happened and it skyrockets. Or you can wake up and you're down 10, 15, 20% because it's some type of grace wanted. It happens. And I can tell you that it goes down a lot more than it goes up. A year ago, right? If you would have invested in Bitcoin, it was $38. Now it's $38,000. Now it's $60,000. You know, I go to the casino. With my wife. I put in $100, and I was shooting craps. I was up to 600. I could not control myself. I didn't want to leave. I did not want to leave because I would have wound up losing the whole thing. My wife very calmly removed my money, walked away with my chips, and cashed it. Right? Because you just don't think it can go down. But casino the other day, $100 into bubble cracks. I was shooting bubble cracks. I went from 100 to 150. So I made $50. I made $50. I made 50%. I was only there 20 minutes. I cashed out. I learned my lesson. I have a limit. We have casinos. We have the Seminole Indian casinos. If I go to the casino, I say I'm going to lose. If I lose, it's going to be $100. If I win, $100. So what I do, I don't really play slots. I play table games. So the other day, my son was at a sleepover. We went out. I took out $200 out of the ATM. Gave my wife $100, and I took $100. She blows through that like She knows that it drives me crazy. But I went to a bubble craps machine. I put in that 100, and I was up to 225. So now I'm profiting. I'm in profit. I'm in profit 125%. So I cash out. I cash out, and I use the $25 to finish off my gambling. I put that 25 bucks in, and I was going up and down. It was 25, then I was up to 40 or 50, then I was back down to 10, and then I doubled up a few times. I was back up to whatever I was. The bottom line is, I entertained myself. I already made my money, right? I already made the 100. And I was using the $25 just to make it so I wasn't bored. And that's what I did. While she was losing, I was messing around with 25 bucks. So I had my initial 100. I made 100, and I kept $25 out just to screw around, betting $5, betting $3, just to waste time. Because if I'd been standing there waiting for her to get done at the slot machines, I would have been putting money in that. So by keeping that 25, I keep myself occupied. Anyway, thanks for those who signed in, signed out. I appreciate it, listening to me talk. So that was my cryptocurrency talk of the day. Have a good one. Talk to y'all later.